So, we've told you that the capitalists who run the country, the billionaires, they like to socialize the losses and privatize the profit, just like the banks did in 2008. So they made trillions of dollars rigging the system, turning banks into casino hopping. And then when it crashed, the United States government gave them $700 billion to bail out those banks. So the bankers never missed their bonuses, but 5.1 million families got kicked out of their homes to make the banks solid. Opposite of what people wanted. People wanted the banks broken up. Barack Obama came in and protected the bankers because every person in Barack Obama's cabinet came directly from an email from Citigroup, and everyone on that email ended up in Barack Obama's cabinet. And I know that because WikiLeaks revealed that. That is why they tried to kill Julian Assange for so long. And now what they're doing here is, see, that's Sam Altman. He's open to AI, right? That's the GPT. He says that they're going to put all this money into AI and they're probably going to go bankrupt, and then the government has to bail them out. So OpenAI Sam Altman sees AI bubble forming as industry spending surges. Really? And he's got that look like, what can I tell you? I'm not a gadget guy. And so this is from More Perfect Union. In a new podcast, that guy, Sam Altman, says, well, I'll just show you what he says. I'll show you what he says.
Some level, when something gets sufficiently huge, whether or not they are on paper, the federal government is kind of the insurer of last resort.
Is kind of. No, they are the insurer of last resort when it comes to the banks. So the banks failed and the government bailed them out. They insured the banks. And now he wants the government to insure his company and companies like him when they go bankrupt funding AI. So let's watch.
As we've seen in various financial crises and insurance companies screwing things up. So I guess.
And by the way, they bailed out AIG, which is an insurance company, in 2008. They bailed out banks and what was it? I just said the name of it. AIG insurance company. I think they were $180 billion in the red, and they bailed them out. So he's right. Whenever we see a big financial crisis, the government you socialize the risk. Whenever they lose money, the government, so they don't ever have to worry about losing money because the government's going to pay for it, and that's what he wants the government to do for AI companies. Watch.
And the magnitude of what I expect AI economic impact to look like, sort of, I do think the government ends up as like the insurer of last resort, but I think I mean that in a different way than you mean that, and I don't expect them to actually be like writing the policies in the way that maybe they do for nuclear.
And there's a big difference between the government being the insurer of last resort and the insurer of first resort. Last resort's inevitable, but I'm worried they'll become the insurer of first resort, and that I don't want. Yeah, well, that's what you're going to get. That's what's happening. That's what you're going to get because the tech bros run the government. That's why. That's why you always see all those. Remember all those tech guys surrounding Donald Trump at the White House and at his inaugural? That's what this is about. Just like Donald Trump just gave $40 billion to Argentina while cutting health care for people in America, they're going to do the same thing for AI. They're going to bail them out. Here we go. So OpenAI seeks government backing to boost AI investments. This is from Barron's. So again, this is not a left-wing rag. This is a financial rag. This is November 5th. OpenAI seeks government backing. And when I think about something being free and open, like OpenAI, I automatically assume that it's in the hands of the government. ChatGPT creator, OpenAI, the world's largest private company, is asking the United States government to provide loan guarantees for its massive infrastructure expansion that will eventually cost more than $1 trillion. Speaking at a Wall Street Journal business conference, OpenAI CFO Sarah Fryer explained that government backing could help attract the enormous investment needed for AI computing and infrastructure, given the uncertain lifespan of AI data centers. So what she's saying is
We're going to be able to raise money and capital to invest in AI if the people who are investing their money are guaranteed they won't lose their money. So if you're guaranteed, if when AI goes belly up, that the government will cover your losses, so you're not going to have any losses, then more people are. You mean more people are willing to invest in a sure thing, a thing that they'll never be able to lose money on? Oh, that's a shocker. I'd like to get in on that. I'd like to help finance some AI because I know the government's going to pay for it when it goes belly up, just like the banks, just like AIG Insurance Company. This is where we're looking for an ecosystem of banks, private equity, maybe even government. Oh, really? Maybe? Really? Maybe. So let me tell you, when I prioritize things, my actual life means nothing in the face of making sure that some AI data center lives on. That's the important part. You got to make sure the federal loan guarantees would really drop the cost of financing, she explained, enabling OpenAI and its investors to borrow more money at lower rates to meet the companies that big. So why would they get a lower rate? Because it's guaranteed to never lose money. The proposal, unusual for a Silicon Valley tech giant, would theoretically reduce OpenAI's borrowing costs since the government would absorb the losses if the company defaulted. Wouldn't you like to open up a company and if it went bankrupt, the government would pay for it?
Wow.
These are the richest guys in the world using government welfare to run their companies. Such guarantees would also dramatically expand OpenAI's potential lender pool, as many banks and financial institutions face strict limits on high-risk lending. So you take the risk out of it. So it's not capitalism. This is called socialism. It's socialism for the rich, rugged individualism for everybody else. This is called socializing the losses and privatizing the profits. That's what this is called. But it's not the government that actually absorbs those losses. Guess who absorbs those losses? It's us, because we are the ones losing every other form of coverage to make up for it. This is just the enticing promotional phase, by the way, encouraging people to invest what will be the thing they totally replaces them down the road. So the government is now going to invest in taking away jobs from people through AI. And then when you lose your job, you still have to take your tax money and bail out the AI company that just took your job. So now you know that it's a rigged system. Now you get it? That the people with the money make the rules. OpenAI's request for government support comes amid a massive spending spree on computing infrastructure, raising questions about how the company will recoup these investments. By some estimates, OpenAI has committed to approximately $1 trillion in infrastructure deals this year alone, including a $300 billion partnership with Oracle and a $500 billion Stargate project with Oracle and SoftBank. So that's Elon Musk. Oracle, that's the guy who just bought Paramount.
Right.
What's his name?
Fun names today.
Yeah, Larry Ellison. So the richest guy in the world, Larry Ellison, is now going to be covered. He's not going to be able to lose any money. And if he does, the government will pay for it, meaning you, as they eliminate your jobs with AI. It's a nice system. Nice system you got going there. Okay. While the company expects revenues in the tens of billions this year, impressive for any startup, that figure falls far short of covering the computing costs required to power. So it costs them more to power OpenAI, ChatGPT, than the money they make off it. So it's losing proposition right now. It costs more money to power an AI center than the money that the AI center actually makes. And they're making tens of billions of dollars this year alone, and they're still losing money. And who's going to make up that money for them? The United States government via Donald Trump. So even the AI guy admits when tech breaks, the taxpayer foots the bill. Sounds less like innovation and more like corporate socialism. Random fact, in 2008, the U.S. government spent over $700 billion bailing out private banks during the financial crisis. They weren't allowed to fail. That's called too big to fail. And now AI is too big to fail. Isn't that interesting? Wow. And so this data bailout is going to exceed what we gave to the banks in 2008 to bail them out. Just wait till they need a sperm bank bailout. That's what I say. Jerk officers, time to strap up and hit the ground running. Fi says these same billionaires assert that government absolutely cannot be the insurer of last resort for America's working families. Okay, there it is. Too big to fail. Stealing our water, energy, and jobs wasn't enough. Now OpenAI wants the government bailout because it's too big to fail. This is the same thing we heard in 2008, which led to the big banks getting bailouts while the people got kicked out of their homes. No more bailouts. Let these evil corporations die. Are you for capitalism or not? They're not. That's spoiler alert. The tech billionaires are not for capitalism. They're for socialism. Just the socialism that fills their pockets. Isn't that interesting? Wow. The difference between Sam Altman and the financial crisis, the financials waited until after implosion to ask for a bailout. They're asking for a bailout before it even happens. They're asking for a bailout before. So the banks at least waited till they failed before they asked for a bailout. The Sam Altman and the OpenAI people are asking for a bailout up front. So they're going to take your jobs away and then make you pay for that company that took your job away when it goes belly up. Wow. That's what's happening. Just so you know. Okay, and you know what I tell OpenAI? Go grok yourself. That's what I say. Okay, so if you'd like to hear my jokes about the billionaire class and the oligarchs and how we need to join together to oppose them, come see me tell jokes in Australia, Burbank, California, the day after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday, November 28th. Most people are off. I'm not off. December 6th, we'll be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And January 11th, it's a Sunday. We'll be in Waikiki, Hawaii at the Blue Note. Beautiful theater right on Waikiki Beach. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph. So part of the problem with the government shutdown is that they're not paying traffic controllers. So what air traffic controllers are doing are retiring early. They're retiring and not showing up for work. And so air travel, I don't know if you know, is a disaster right now in the United States. Here's what's happening.
Flight delays and cancellations could last through the holiday season, even if the government shutdown ends soon.
So even if it looks like the government shutdown is going to end Wednesday or Thursday of this week, the travel nightmare is going to continue far beyond Thanksgiving. That the government is telling airlines to cut their flights, cancel 10% of their flights right now. That's thousands of flights a day.
FAA ordered flights to be reduced by 10% at 40 major airports across the country. ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest now from LAX.
Nationwide, flights upended as airlines drastically cut the number of daily flights during the government shutdown. On Sunday, nearly 8% of flights canceled, and today is on track to be just as bad, if not worse, with more than 1,500 flights canceled before 9 a.m.
It's really, really stressful.
The FAA choosing to gradually reduce flights by 10%, they say due to safety reasons.
Delay, then it was canceled.
On Saturday, Airlines for America saying 71% of delays were due to staffing, as air traffic controllers and TSA agents call out of work without pay. President Trump today on social media posting he's not happy about controllers calling out sick, recommending a $10,000 bonus for those who kept working without pay. The ATC union president today responding.
Air traffic controllers have continued to show up during this shutdown, and every single day, they absolutely not only deserve their pay, they deserve to be recognized.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warning that air travel pain could be felt through the holiday season, even after the shutdown ends.
I used to have about 4 controllers retire a day before the shutdown. I'm now up to 15 to 20 a day are retiring.
Other passengers telling me after their latest flight this weekend, they now plan to avoid the airport.
Driving to our destinations for the holidays, for sure.
Passengers are advised to stay up to date with their airline, who will work with them to rebook or offer refunds amid cancellations. Melissa O'Don, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So again, this is a country that doesn't invest in its own country. But we got $40 billion to send to Argentina. We got hundreds of $billions to send to Ukraine. We got $34 billion to send to Israel. We got all kinds of money. We just don't want to spend it on our own country. Here's another report.
Travelers are facing big problems at America's airports due to a lack of air traffic controllers. Nearly 3,000 flights were canceled yesterday. More than 10,000 were delayed.
So that's 13,000 flights in one day. 3,000 flights just canceled. All done.
Van Cleve is at Phoenix's Sky Harbor International Airport with how some travelers are responding. Responding is probably a kind word for it, Chris. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Sunday was the single worst day for travelers since the shutdown began. Today may not be a whole lot better. The FAA had hoped by ordering airlines to bring down the number of flights, it would ease the burden on controllers, but it really appears the burden of working without pay now for 40 days could be reaching a breaking point. A delayed and frustrating weekend for flyers, more than 25,000 delays and over 5,500 cancellations. And that's after the FAA ordered airlines to cut flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports to take pressure off the system.
Our best case scenario is that we'll be able to leave here in 2 hours.
Much of the issue due to a surge in air traffic controllers' sick calls, hitting a shutdown high of at least 81 staffing shortfalls at FAA facilities Saturday, according to the Transportation Secretary, with more on Sunday.
We're delayed right off the get-go. We hadn't even left for the airport yet, so then we missed our connecting flight in Minneapolis.
In Atlanta, the world's busiest airport saw nearly 500 cancellations Sunday after just 4 of the 22 air traffic controllers scheduled showed up to work.
4 of the 22 air traffic controllers showed up at work in Atlanta, the busiest airport in the world. 4 showed up out of 22. That's what happens when you don't pay professionals to do their job. They're not going to go in and do their job. 4.
Saturday, the average delay hit nearly 5 hours. Dallas, Fort Myers, Florida, and all 3 of the New York City area airports were hit with staffing delays Sunday.
Family of 4 here, 4 kids. We were forced to kind of sleep in the airport.
Controllers are poised to miss a second paycheck this week due to the government shutdown. Airlines will again cancel 4% of flights to those 40 airports today. That'll climb to 6% Tuesday and hit 1 in 10 flights by.
So by this Friday, 1 in 10 flights are going to be canceled, and most of the other ones are going to be severely delayed. Just FYI.
Friday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says more flights may need to be cut.
It doesn't get better. It gets worse until these air traffic controllers are going to be paid.
All right, so expect additional cancellations today because of the meltdown yesterday, and airlines are right now locking in the cancellations for the rest of the week from that FAA order. One thing to think about, as lawmakers may need to make their way back to Washington to vote in the House, every day there will be fewer and fewer available seats to get back to D.C., and the Thanksgiving travel rush starts a week from Friday, Nate.
Yeah, plane, train, or automobile. Lawmakers better figure it out. Chris, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, and here's what Donald Trump said. This was his tweet. All air traffic controllers must go back to work now, all caps, 3 exclamation points. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. For those air traffic controllers who were great pay. So, by the way, that's a very anti-worker. That's a very anti-worker thing to do. Hey, you better go back to work for no pay. You better go back to work for no pay.
Because I say so.
Because I say so, and if you don't, you're going to get punished. Well, they're already not paying them. They're already overworked and understaffed. And we all know, this isn't new that we're low on air traffic controllers.
But they've got plenty of money for Ukraine, plenty of money for
Argentina, Afghanistan, Ukraine. For those air traffic controllers who were great patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democrat shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service to our country. For those that did nothing but complain and took time off, even though everyone knew they would be paid in full shortly into the future, I am not happy with you. You didn't step up to help the USA against the fake Democrat attack that was only meant to hurt our country. So now most people blame the Republicans for this. Now, if you look at polling, if you look at the election last Tuesday, even Donald Trump admitted the shutdown was not good for us. So this is called propaganda. This is all spin. You didn't step up to blah, blah, blah. That was only meant to hurt our country. You will have a negative mark, at least in my mind, against your record. If you want to leave service in the near future, please do not hesitate to do so with no payment or severance of any kind. You will be quickly replaced by true patriots who will do a better job on the brand new state-of-the-art equipment, the best in the world that we are in the process of ordering. The last administration wasted billions of dollars trying to fix antiquated junk. They had no idea what they were doing. Oh, really? Well, You're canceling 10% of flights right now. You're canceling thousands and thousands. You canceled 5,000 flights over the weekend. Does that sound like someone knows what they're doing? Didn't really prepare for this, did you?
Maybe
Anyway.
he should have more meetings with people in big tech and
Yeah.
AI.
Why don't you give some more money to Argentina instead of giving it to the air traffic controllers? I bet you $40 billion would have gone a long way. Canceled flights, live update. So what to know about canceled flights? Airlines are expected to cancel 4% of their flights at 40% of the airports, or 40 of the airports in the U.S. on Monday, but that's going to go up to 10% by Friday. Officials said the FAA order was an effort to address strain on the national airspace system as the agency dealt with the shortage of traffic controllers. Over 2,100 flights were canceled Monday. That's today. Already, 2,100 flights canceled today. The FAA wants airlines to increase cancellations at 40 airports to 6% tomorrow and 10% by Friday. This is the second day straight with over 2,000 cancellations. Doing a great job. Doing a great job. I don't even know. I don't have anything else to say about this except, wow, great job. Great job. Now, it's just unbelievable. This is how all empires end. Overextend ourselves militarily abroad, and we underfund. Really? Donald Trump just gave $40 billion to Argentina. You couldn't give some money to the air traffic controllers in the meantime because you couldn't make that happen? No. You couldn't plan on this? You guys didn't know that there was going to be a government shutdown? You didn't have a contingency plan to make sure your air traffic controllers got paid? The answer is no. Okay. Happy flying. Happy flying. And if you like to see my jokes about this, come see me in Australia. I'll be in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and I'll be in Burbank, California at Flappers Comedy Club the day after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday. Most people are off. I'm not off. That's November 28th. And then December 6th, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. That's a Saturday. January 11th in Waikiki at the Blue Note. That's a Sunday. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to you, Steph.
Okay, Active Guardian wanted to remind us by saying, remember, one of the goals of the globalists, WEF, Agenda 2030, is to eliminate air travel for ordinary people. Yep, they're working hard at that. All right, let's see here. Congress gets FEHB like ACA plans, money full FEHB when they leave the job. Blue Cross FEHB to Blue Cross Part C Medigap are night and day. Makes it worth running alone. And that's from Burby. Thank you, Burby. What's this one? Bill Gates was just at the White House asking the same because of his investment in an open AI and got an F no. Well, that's good to hear, G. Fontes. Jimmy, you need to get into Congress. That's how you find out the best time to buy or short.
No kidding.
Nice. CIA torture camp. Consider how much power AI uses and how much it hallucinates. Now think about human brain power and how people lie. Vienticus. Please have Nick Cruz on once a month or so to cover current topics. He has great compassion and he can express himself clearly. Mark Dansky, yes, thank you for that reminder. Many hospitals like Brown University and South Coast Health are Tylenol only for their surgeries. Huh? What? JAMA, NIH, and Rutgers are pimping Tylenol only impacted tooth extractors and breast cancer removal. Demons, Burby says. We need AI at warp speed, so we are way too far down the road when we had time to think about it. Giraffe Rider. If this would have gone through Thanksgiving, it would have collapsed the economy, maybe even worse than COVID. Hazel Kitty. Remember, one of the goals of the globalists is to eliminate air travel for ordinary people. 2020 Newsweek article, 38 police officers have been doxxed during protests in Portland, DHS says. That was from Corn Pop, the baddest dude.
How many?
38.
38. What happened? What happened when they got doxxed? What does that mean, doxxed? Did someone give out their home address and their home phone number? Is that what they mean by doxxed? Someone gave out, because if someone gave out their names, that's what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to know who the cops are who are policing our streets. That's not doxing. That's the bare minimum that the police are supposed to do. They're supposed to give their name. We're supposed to know who are policing us. That's not supposed to be done in secret. That's called a secret police force. That's like a Gestapo. And we're against that in the United States. And if you're not, then you're not really an American. You're against the spirit of America. And please tell me what happened to those 30 cops who got doxxed. Please tell me what happened. What do you mean doxxed? So people went to their house and killed them? Did that happen? What happened? Nothing. Okay, over to Steph.
Okay, here we go. She's back with her toy. Burby, research shows that the mastectomy and reconstruction surgery are amongst the highest risk surgeries associated with opioid use. ABC, that's treating even one like an addict. Pray you don't get chronic pain, Burby. All right. And I read that one from Active Guardian. What's this one? Good girl. She's in here playing. She needs some attention. She's a good girl for 3 hours, but I think within the first 2 hours, she's okay. And now it's past 2 hours. She's like, I need attention. By the way, COP30 UN climate change gathering started today, destroying Amazonian jungle to tell the rest of the world to shower a bit colder and not to travel around. You're killing the planet. All right, Taggin. Thank you, Taggin, for that. All right, let's see what I've got here. I read that one. Airline jets are crammed and flying through the sky. Don't want my knees get jammed, and so I just won't fly. Vianticus, thank you for that one.
Okay.
All right, back to Mr. Jim.
So Trump announced that the food prices are down. He said Walmart just announced that prices for a Thanksgiving dinner is now down 25% since under sleepy, crooked Joe Biden in 2024. Affordability is a Republican stronghold. Hopefully, Republicans will use this irrefutable fact. Spoiler alert, none of that's true. Because here it is. Walmart's annual Thanksgiving meal returns, serving 10 people for less than $4 a person. Yeah, Walmart announced that it's the return of the beloved annual Thanksgiving meal. The incredible basket offers 20 national and private brand items, including a Butterball turkey for 97 cents per pound. It's the lowest price since 2019 as a one-click basket serving 10 people for less than $40. So what they don't tell you is that basket is missing 15 items. So the reason why it's 25% cheaper is because they took 15 items out of it. And this post got community noted. It said, missing context. The 2025 Walmart Thanksgiving meal contains 15 items, while the 2024 meal contained 21 items. Additionally, most of the brand name items in 2024 meal were replaced with great value items. So they got rid of the brand names and gave you generics, and they cut down. I was told it was 15. So here it only says 6. But I'm pretty sure it's more. So here's what they gave you in 2024. Here's what they're giving you in 2025. That's a lot shorter list.
Oh.
That's a lot shorter list, isn't it? And here's Donald Trump being asked about it. Here's what he has to say.
You look at 25% reduction in costs for Thanksgiving between Biden and me, meaning this administration. That's a tremendous number. It's the biggest reduction in cost in the history of that chart or whatever it is they do. They do a synopsis of everything. They cover every element of Thanksgiving meals. 25% down. So I don't want to hear about the affordability because right now we're much less. If you look,
I like how he says, I don't want to hear about the affordability. Well, you know who does want it? So that's not work. That's not good. That's called bad politics because people know that groceries cost more because they go and buy groceries, unlike Donald Trump. And he thinks he's going to be able to bullshit people. I don't want to hear about affordability. But that's pretty much what Joe Biden was saying. He's like every Fox News, 70% of Americans report higher grocery prices. So that's not going to work. So that thing that Donald Trump bluster and bullshit and basically he's telling you, shut up and pay more. I'm telling you it's less. Well, 7 out of 10 Americans, according to Fox, according to Fox News. Don't believe it. A Fox News poll conducted in November reveals that 70% of Americans say grocery prices are higher than a year ago, with 60% attributing the increases to President Donald Trump. USDA data supports this, showing a 2.7% rise in food at home prices over the past 12 months, including a 5.2% surge in meat prices linked to supply chain issues and tariffs. While the Trump administration claims inflation is under control and highlights declines in egg prices, fact checks indicate persistent cumulative increases amid public frustration. So, I don't know what Donald Trump thinks he's so it's the new Charlie Brown special. It's a get what you pay for Thanksgiving. This is from Fortune magazine. Trump keeps touting a Thanksgiving meal basket from Walmart that's 25% cheaper, but it has half as many items as last year. This is where I got that from. With Thanksgiving, blah, 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 President Trump has claimed over the past 2 days that costs for the Thanksgiving meal are down 25%, citing a prepackaged Thanksgiving meal basket from Walmart. I just saw the Walmart came out with the state, so we saw that. This is misleading. While Walmart's 2025 meal basket does cost about 25% less than the one from 2024, that's because it offers fewer items and different products that make it more affordable. It's not apples to apples, right? What this does highlight is individual retailer strategies for getting customers in the door. In 2025, basket costs less than $40 and feeds 10 people, about $4 a head. In 2024, a basket for 8 costs $56, less than $7 per person. So it actually went up $3 per person. That's about a 25% decrease, possibly more depending on price fluctuations, said the CEO of Walmart. But again, they're giving you about half as many items. Our Thanksgiving meal basket this year is our best and most affordable. At less than $4 per person, you can feed 10 people a full holiday meal for 25% less than the basket we had last year. It provides meaningful savings on everything we all love about the Thanksgiving meal, including a Butterball turkey at its lowest price since 2019. And because every dollar and minute count, our basket gives you great food and great value with the convenience of one-click shopping and fast delivery. Okay. There's the guy. But the baskets differ significantly. For example, this year's includes just 15 items compared to last year's 29. So that's where I got. So it's almost half as many items.
You're not comparing apples to apples.
So it's half as many items. It is missing many dessert items, including a pecan pie, mini marshmallows, and muffin mix, as well as savory items such as sweet potatoes, yellow onions, and celery stalks. The Superstore retailer has also substituted products. Instead of a 12 sweet Hawaiian rolls, it just gives you 12 dinner rolls, which is not as cool as 12 sweet Hawaiian rolls. Both are from Walmart store brand. It also offers Kinder's crispy fried onions as opposed to French's. So they're giving you cheaper items also. Plus, the amount of each item varies. Customers were promised a 10 to 16 pound turkey in 2024, but now it's just a 13.5 pound. And they'll get 1 can of cream of mushroom soup instead of 2. They're marketing it as, hey, this is a more affordable way, yet that implies that, man, stuff's a lot more expensive, Anderson said. I guess it's good marketing. A Thursday press release from the White House also cited cheaper Thanksgiving deals at Liddy's, Aldi's, Target, and Schnucks. Okay. And if it's any consolation, people are 25% less happy than they were last year with their basket of food, just so you know. Okay. Ron Smith says Trump has epic meltdown when a reporter fact checks him. So here's the reporter. So turn up the volume on this one. Here's the reporter saying, hey, wait a minute. That Walmart basket that you're touting as 25% cheaper has about 15 fewer items in it. And listen to what he says.
And since you Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
And it is cheaper, but it also contains less. As affordability,
Well, I haven't heard that. You're telling me. Who are you with? Who are you with?
I'm with NBC News.
Fake news. NBC. You're fake news. What a NBC's gone down the tubes along with most of the rest of them.
So I think fake news is the perfect outfit to cover the fake food savings from Walmart. So the truth is people are paying more. 70% of Americans know they're paying more for their groceries. Doing a switcheroo on your Walmart Thanksgiving basket is not going to trick people into thinking they're getting more money, more food for less. That's not happening. Yeah, there's the that I can't. Who cares about that? But so there you go. Turns out you're getting a lot of propaganda, and the Walmart Thanksgiving basket is not actually cheaper. You know why it's cheaper? They're giving you half the food. That's why. You want 2 cans of cream mushroom soup? You're getting 1. You want an onion? Nope. You want celery? Nope. Not getting it. You want some pecan pie? Nope. Not getting it. You want some fluffy cocoa marshmallow mix? Not getting it. All that stuff you got. And you're getting a smaller turkey. You want a 16-pound turkey? Nope. Giving you a 13-pound turkey. Okay, fantastic. Way to go. So just keep bullshitting people. That stuff of, I don't want to hear. When he says this is a guy who's not running for office again.
You look at 25% reduction in costs for Thanksgiving between Biden and me, meaning this administration. That's a tremendous number. It's the biggest reduction in cost in the history of that chart or whatever it is they do. They do a synopsis of everything. They cover every element of Thanksgiving meals. 25% down. So I don't want to hear about the affordability because right now we're much less. If you look at energy, we're getting close to $2 a gallon gasoline. With Biden, it was $4.50, $5. Another thing, inflation. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Now we have virtually no inflation at all. It's down at a very low number and a very normal number. So the affordability is much better with the Republicans. The only problem is the Republicans don't talk about it. And Republicans should start talking about it and use their heads because we have great numbers. We have and they're going to only get better when all these jobs open up, all these factories open up that are being built all over our country. We are building auto plants. We're building AI plants. We're leading in AI over China and everybody else. When all of these plants start opening, we're going to have a revolution, a positive revolution, economic revolution like never before. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
So we're building both auto plants and AI plants? What good is an auto plant if there's no humans working inside that auto plant if it's staffed by robots and AI that take away people's jobs? Are robots going to start driving to work in your car? Anyway, okay. So if it's just robots working inside these and AI, how can we afford the cars they're making if we don't have jobs? Anyway, there you go. Donald Trump does a fake switcheroo on the Walmart Thanksgiving basket, pretending that means food prices are down when they're actually up. And 70% of the people in America know food prices are up. And that's from a Fox News poll. And if you'd like to hear my jokes about this, come see me. I'll be in Sydney, Australia, Melbourne, Brisbane, Burbank, California at Flappers Comedy Club the day after Thanksgiving, November 28th. Most people are off that day. I'm not. December 6th on Pottstown. That's a Saturday. January 11th, we'll be in Waikiki Beach at the Blue Note Theater. That's a Sunday. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
You know, when he says an economic revolution, it's not for us. It's not for the workers,
That's
that
right.
revolution.
That's right.
That's for, somebody like Zuckerberg and Sam Altman and it's Bill Gates. That's that revolution. It's for them on their behalf. Remember, Active Guardian. Remember, one of the goals of the globalists to eliminate air travel for ordinary people. Seems like they're going to
Remember that?
They're going to eliminate just like jobs for ordinary people. By the way, COP30 UN climate changing gathering started today, destroying Amazonian jungle to tell the rest of the world to shower a bit colder and not to travel around. You're killing the planet. Oh, and that was from Taggin. Nathan, I love you. Thank you for that, Nathan. Jimmy, Nathan sends his love. Name and badge number, motherfucker. That's
right.
From Pirate Justin. Radical. Resist much, obey little. I like it, Pirate. So effing sick of every administration touting their own horn when they all suck. 7 Red Rum. Walmart Thanksgiving meal. Trump, Congress members, etc. going to be eating this shit. A Walmart TG meal. JFC Sharon.